tell us about Brock and Phil Hronik?
It was Brock was more of a maintenance. You know, he hasn't taken a practice off, and there's nothing really major wrong with him. I felt that he should get off the ice and just be ready for tomorrow. He wanted to stay in practice, but I think he needed a day off.
Rick,
or maintenance.
Can you bring me up to speed? I've been on vacation for a couple of weeks, enjoying the sun down in the desert.
Nice.
Where's Thatcher at? Has he been skating? Where's his timeline?
He's like whether he's on time or ahead of schedule, he's doing really well right now. And what we're doing with him, it's going to be. He's excited. Thatcher's excited what's going on.
How many games do you want to get him before you start the playoffs?
Well, I don't know. I can't give an exact date or exact game, but he's going to get some games before the season. The season ends, so that's a positive.
Have you been told when he's going to be able to skate?
Not the exact game, but there's obviously the latter part of the season.
Is he skating?
He's done a couple of things, but he hasn't been with his pads on. So.
Hey, Rick, where do you stand on the whole resting guys before the playoffs? You played through it in your career. Where do you sit on that? And also balancing the fact that I think winning first would mean something to this city, but also to this team, the way that you guys have played this year.
I think
sit on that
all that stuff comes game to game and in situational, so it's hard to explain, say it now. I don't know how many games we got left, 9? 8 games left. So I couldn't give you the exact, but there is some value to certain guys, whether there's down the stretch, is there a game you can get a guy out to help out on a nag and injury? Yeah, you got to look at it as a head coach, but I don't look at it right now. I look at tomorrow Vegas. That's the way you got to look at it.
Rick, when you look at Archer Seelows at 23 years old, getting this opportunity to come up, he's done it a little bit before in his career at the NHL level, but how important do you think that is for a 23-year-old who's developing his game?
I think for a goaltender, especially 23-year-old goaltender, coming in, last year, playing, was it 4 or 5 games, NHL level, going to the World Championship, playing, I don't care what anybody says, it's still a high-pressure tournament. And then, being the guy down in Abbotsford right from the start of the year to now getting some games, I think it's huge for his development. And getting to work with Clarkie now, NHL practices. I mean, you got to think his development has just increased over the last 6-7 months.
He was talking about having so much more confidence in himself. I think from a player going from a 22-year-old goalie to a 23-year-old goalie, is that the biggest difference you've seen in a young player like that?
Well, I saw it last night where there was a shot on net. There was kind of a rebound in front, and he was just like you can tell. Clarkie's worked with him. He's watched Thatcher. Even if you look at Casey's game, how he's changed. He's there. He's not sliding all over the place. He's not flopping. He's there for the second shot. You can tell. That's when you know the goalie's listening, or you got a mature goalie where he's there for the second shot. He's not out of the net. I'm not a goalie guy, but that's when I know when a goalie's on, is he's there.
Where's Lindholm at, and will he go on the trip?
Yeah, he'll be on the trip. He's skating every day, and so I don't have exact date. We want to get him ready for whatever that game is.
When he's back and paired with Teddy, that is probably one of the dominant pairings on the PK in the league. Why are they so good together?
Well, I think the draws help. Him with the draws. If he's a 60%, sometimes it's 75% clip, and we're a good face-off team. That's huge, especially if we just got to work on getting the puck down in our PK. That's probably the weakness of it. But for him, I think with the draws, and he's starting to get used to the system. And then you got Dak in there. Those 3 guys, especially to me, you can rotate those 3. It depends on if somebody's been on the ice or tired. I could put even Dak out there with Lindholm when he comes back, or Teddy and Lindholm. There's the 3-way are kind of our top 2 defenders.
You're having an extended chat with Teddy after practice today, but just instructional, or?
Yeah, just a couple of instructional things. Yeah. Feedback.
When you were playing, how valuable were your bottom 6 lines in trying to win it all? Everybody talks about what you need from the top pairings, but we know what happens in the postseason and how top lines are shut down.
Yeah, bottom 6, like if you talk all the Stanley Cup winners, they always talk, you always got the star players, but it's that, if you look last year, Vegas, that 4th line, I mean, they were a big part of that team winning the Cup. Just over the years, I've always felt that the role players are huge. It's as simple as change momentum of a game. It's wearing down the other team's best player. It's holding pucks in the corner. It's okay to be a role guy, or it's stopping momentum. with a good forecheck. It's a good wall play. I mean, you got to have those type of guys, that attitude in those type of playoff games.
You're of a certain vintage. Do you remember John Drews scoring 14 playoff goals in 15 games coming out of nowhere?
Yes.
Do you have that guy in your team? Maybe it might.
You never know. You never know.
Maybe Dak?
Somebody, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
But somebody does, right? Every year.
There's always somebody, yeah. And you as a player, you always want to play, you always want to rise to the occasion, so if you can find those guys, but that's our job as a coach, get instill the confidence in for these guys to rise above their playing,
Rick, what would you like to see these final 8 games in the final 2 weeks? I think goaltending hasn't been a problem for you right now. I thought you played well defensively, but what would you like to have tightened up, maybe to get back to where we saw you, where you guys were really functioning at all?
Well, I think structurally, I think we're fine. Like we're not given a ton. I mean, we do, every team gives. I mean, you're playing good teams. They're great teams. They're going to get their looks. I don't care who you are. You can play perfect defense. So that part I like. To me, I would like to see a little bit more better puck management, game management. We've been out there for a minute. Somebody has the puck. You can't turn the puck over because now it happened in the last game. All of a sudden we have people on the ice that have been out there for 90 seconds and we don't get the puck deep. Now we have to keep defending. That's the maturity of the next level for this group, is to understand game management. So that's what I'd like to see better. And obviously, some more inside offensive plays, some more rebound goals or the tic-tac-toes. They're hard to have.
I want to circle back, because when I asked the guys in the room, they've been good all season long, but I asked them about finishing first, because I think it'd be a good carrot for the way that these guys have played. Do you sense that would be something that they would like to have happen?
Listen, you finish first, you hang your hat on something, but I don't really, it doesn't really matter to me if you're not playing well. Like, you can hang a banner and then all of a sudden, but put it this way, if you're going to be first, you have to play well down the stretch. So, I don't think we're going to hang a banner if you're not playing well. So I guess that's the way you look at it. So we need to play. That's why I look at playing well. Whatever happens with the rewards of it, great. But I look at the initial thing as playing well. How do we get to our playing well?
Can you sense the city, can you sense this province excitement level with the fact that you guys have clinched a playoff spot now? It's literally on the horizon for everybody? Yeah,
I think so. I hope so. I mean, it's been a long time here. And as a coach, you can feel the frustration throughout the year of, the fans want it. So hopefully, they can energize get the building loud and stuff. I mean, players love that stuff. Love it. You can feed off it.
In playoff preparation from a coaching standpoint, you have to go into Vegas tomorrow night, LA at the end of the week. You still got a trip to Edmonton, Winnipeg. Like, for these guys that haven't really had that playoff experience, like how much will that help playing in some of these hostile environments over the final 8?
Great question. I'm glad we're playing these teams. I mean, I'm not sitting here, I'm not going to disrespect other teams, non-playoff teams. I'd rather play these guys. Me personally, that's the way you're going to build up some of the scar tissue, instead of going into the playoffs, all of a sudden you got to raise your level. So these are good buildings to go in. It's good for some of these guys to see. And in these situational games, it's big for us.
Are you resting anybody tomorrow on the back end?
What do you mean?
Z?
No, Z will be back in. Yeah.
Who's going out there?
We haven't made that decision
Okay,
yet.
that's Z's going back.
Yeah,
Okay.
Z's in, yeah.
Okay.
You should cry. You should cry, boy.
Generational talent. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.